Hey, happy hump day, y'all. I don't know what's going on with production here lately, but yeah, I've been like 8-hour days. And it's not like we got a bunch of new people who are like needing the hours where I'm at. So it's kind of, I'm confused. But anyway, um, yeah, I had a great day. I went to a job earlier and the whole arrangement, it was kind of confusing. Problems within the concrete world. Let me introduce the topic. Um, yeah. Um, my plant doesn't have a color machine. We use like the bag stuff. And the job that I was going to was only like a 2-yard conduit color job. And so I had asked the batch guy and I was like, do you even know how much we're supposed to put in there? Is it like how many bags goes into this? And he was like, he said to open a bag, pour a little bit in, and then throw the rest of it away. And I was like, no, we're not opening a bag and sprinkling that shit all over my truck. We're just going to throw the whole fucking bag in there. If you're going to throw it away, just throw the whole bag in. Makes no sense. If it's going to land in the landfill, might as well just put it in the fucking truck. Right? So I get back and I asked him, I was like, why did they want to throw it away? He was like, well, I guess an open bag will get hard on them. I said, oh, so basically it is pigment pregnated Portland. Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's Portland cement with pigment in it. Just throw the whole fucking bag in there. Who cares? Anyway. And that's what I did. I was like, you're going to throw the rest of it away? I'm just going to put it in the fucking product. Who gives a shit? It's going over a conduit line. Electrical lines. That's it. Which, why they used concrete, I have no idea. Because I went to a flowable fill job after I cleaned up. Right after that. And, yeah, they did the same thing. Covered conduit lines. Why didn't they dye it? I don't fucking know. I have no idea. Me, personally, if I was an engineer or a project manager or something of the sort and we were covering conduit, yeah, I'd be using flowable fill. 1, it's cheaper. 2, it's easier on the driver. 3, if you ever need repair, it's a hell of a lot easier to penetrate with jackhammers and chisels and whatnot in order to get to the source. That's just me. But who am I? I don't have a degree in engineering. I just pour concrete for a living. I have a degree in computers. And I have a medical background. But yeah. Anywho. So yeah, I've had a great week. I ran into a situation right before I left on Thursday. And it was very bizarre. And if there's anybody who ever watches me and can answer this question, because I found it extremely bizarre, was I did a line pump job. And after the job was done, I asked the guy, do you have a reclaimer hook? Do you want to just hook up to me and I'll haul off your waste and I'll wash out into you and clean both of us at the same time and kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and that way you won't leave a mess, and I'll haul off your waste and I'll go hit the dump with it. And he's like, no, I don't do water wash down. I guess you can wash down over there, or, and it was like a 4-foot hole, and I'm like, I can't get in there at all. Yeah, I'll just wait for the guy who contracted you to come up here and tell me what the fuck I'm going to do. Anyway, he told me to just swing the chutes over and wash out on the grass. But anyway, yeah, it was very strange. It's the first time in like 10 years that I have ever encountered a line pump that did not water wash down. I was literally, he broke my brain. He broke it. I was just sitting there just like, really? How does that work? Anywho, all right, yo. Anyway, so, yeah, I got cleaned up. I got the fuck out of there. You know, he take care of his equipment the way you want to take care of his equipment. I have worked with a particular pump operator that has several different styles of pumps. One of his pumps is like that ball thing. I don't understand the mechanics of it. I just know of it. And yeah, every single pump that he has ever had, I help his guys wash down by washing out into their pumps and helping them with water, and we clean them after we're done. Job is done. They hook me. I reclaim all their mess. I take it to the dump. That kind of thing. Now, the one job that I had a couple months ago that I think I got kicked off it. I only went back to it one other time. And it was toward the tail end. Because I gave the guy shit. Basically, they had half emptied me out. The guy wanted to use all my water to wash his pump. But I still had product on that I had to pump into another pump on the other side of this basin that we were working on, right? And he's like, how am I supposed to wash my pump? I was like, call dispatch and have them send you a truck. But you're not going to whore up my water. And I've got concrete still left on. I need to pump out and get empty. You're telling me I need to empty out over there. If you want to reject me and you want to use all my water, by all means, go ahead. Use the water, reject me. I'll wash out into you. We can do that. You've got 4 yards coming. And that's about all you'll need. So tell me what it is you need me to do. Oh, well, you need to empty out over there. I was like, all right. So off I went. I shut the water off, basically inhibited his means of whoring on it. Went over to the other side, and the guy asked me, why don't you let my guy wash out? I said, because I still have concrete on, and you need this water in order for me to do this job, because it's grout, and it needs to be soupy. Anyway, so I was like, yeah. He's like, well, that's my water. That's my water for the concrete. I said, yeah, for the concrete. And he had a stare off with me. Think about what you just said. And yeah, it's for the concrete and my truck. And if I have any extra, I will help you do your housekeeping. But you will not do your housekeeping before I am empty and I get my truck clean. Period. Yeah, it pissed him off a little. Anyway, I called dispatch. I narked myself out. I told him the situation. He was like, I gotcha. And he sent a truck over there to help them clean their shit. But he got a truck down there when he got a truck available. He wasn't rushing because of the attitude. He had ran one of our drivers who essentially, he not only ran the driver out of water for 3 times in a row, but he ran the driver out of the job. The driver quit because he got sick of the shit. Not only did we lose him, we lost another one this week. Even with me being gone, which is fucked up, kind of branching. Even with me being gone, this driver was frustrated not getting the hours. I keep telling new drivers all the time, Do not sign up for the night crew. Everybody has this misperceived conception that night crew gets all the hours. Yeah, they did during COVID. They don't now. There is a difference. We have night operations that are coming up. If you are new here, do not sign up for the night operations, because this occupation is required to give you 10. God, my hair. Oh my God, I need to put it up in a bandana. I don't even have one near. Yeah, yes, I do. Hang on. Let me fix this because it's making me fucking cuckoo. Do not sign up for night operations until we have something that is like 100,000 yard contract. Leave the night operations to the veteran drivers. And even my buddy, who's been doing this like 20 years, he goes, yeah, you've got it figured out. I said, yeah, I'll do the nights. You know why? Because I know the night before he brings me in, he's going to have me going home at noon. And he's going to have me coming in to work at about somewhere between 1 and 2. And I'm going to get some fucking time off. That's how that's going to work. He's like, yeah. He goes, I keep telling him. He said, me and the other dude over in my plant. He goes, I've made a bet with him. I'll bet you anything. Me being on days, I get more hours than you being on nights. And he didn't believe me. I proved him wrong. He was like, damn. He said, you didn't need to go through me. He could have asked me. And I could have told him. A lot of drivers quit because they're not getting the hours. But a lot of drivers are misinterpreted to the fact that they think that if they get on the night crew, they're going to get all these extra hours. That is not the case. Not at all. Not at all. The week before I left to go on vacation, I just looked at my pay today, which is that week before I left to go on vacation. It is probably about $450 more doing day shift than it is for all the checks that were on night shift. Yeah. Me and this other guy he's been doing this 20 years. He's one of the originals. There's only 3 of us since I got hired that are still here. The girl that got hired after me, there's us 3 and her. Yeah. I was hired in February. She was hired in September. There's 4. If we count her within that in 2016, 4. So one of the things, this old man has been 20 years, whatever, they pulled him down to one of the other plants. And out of my plant, I loaded out of a different plant. We all ended up at the same footing. Because you can get there either way, right? And I was the 3rd truck. He was the 3rd truck. I was the 4th truck. There was a truck ahead of me. The first truck I met on the road as I went up past the job, turned around and came back because it was a backward turn to get up the driveway. So I went and found a spot to get in a nosed-in direction that was easier to do instead of doing an Austin Powers 54 fucking point turn to get in it. Anyway, I get up to the top. I see old man up there, and I'm like, fuck yeah, old man. Me and him. Yeah, I pulled him out of the mud. He's like, man, girl, you crazy as hell. Yeah, love you, dude. Yeah, I'm kind of like a little sister to him now. Anyway, so the second truck showed up, and he didn't slump his load before he left. And he showed up dry as fuck. Ended up almost expending all of his water. However, he doesn't know the tricks of the trade. And one of the tricks of the trade is when you show up to a job dry and you are slumping your load and you pour out a little and your shit is too dry for them, you get your ass up out of that truck. You get up on that catwalk and you wash off your shit. To help it wet it up, especially at a footing. Especially at a footing. Oh, I've done it on driveways. I've done it on, you name it. Porches, driveways, slabs. If I discharge a teeny tiny bit, and they're, yeah, put 20 in it. My ass is getting out of the truck, and I'm going and helping that shit. One, speed up the slump. Two, it cleans off my fins. And my hopper. Because if they want it wet, they ain't going to worry about a little bit of water being in it. Anyway, so, this dude fucked up from the very start of this job. He showed up, he was dry, he had to slump it, they wanted 8.5, 9. He used up all his water getting it there, and then he wanted to scab on mine. They wanted a 12-inch slump. I saw what he was pouring. It wasn't no 12. I know what a 12 looks like. Yep. I got a buddy that I work with all the time. He is too eager to put it on a fucking 12 because he does not want to wash down. Yeah, 12 is too easy to wash down. Anyway. So I washed down his chutes because he expends all of his water on his fins because he didn't help slump it at all, which I clarified today, talking to old man because he was out of my plate. Anyway, and I told him, I said, I'm not done slumping yet, so I got the inside of your chutes done. You just need to take them, put them on the truck, and get the fuck out of Dodge because you're in his way. No. He proceeded to try to primp on them using my water. Oh, I went off. So old man was like, did you make it out alive? I was like, yeah, I made it out alive. Why? What? You think little girl can't hold her own? He goes, no, but I was about to jump out of that fucking truck and tell that boy what he needed to fucking do. I was like, damn. He goes, oh, no. He goes, you was right. You washed his chutes. You got him clean. He needed to get his shit loaded up and get the fuck out of Dodge. You were absolutely fucking right. There was nothing that came out of your mouth that day that was inappropriate or wrong. He goes, you helped him. He can, if he wants to primp on his shit, he can do that back at the plant. Just like you can do that shit back at the plant. Hit some acid on it. It'll come right off. Don't be whoring up on my fucking shit. I ain't even ready to fucking pour yet. And he was only the second truck. He only had to wait for one truck. Me, I had to wait for him and this other guy. He said, hell no, you were in the right. You had every right to cut his ass off. He's like, yeah, I remember this. I was like, yeah, I'll remember it too. So anyway, that's the fun shit that's going on in the last couple of weeks. But today, easy day. Absolutely fucking easy day. I've never had such an easy day in my life. So I got back from that flowable fill job. I sat there bullshitting with the batch guy. I was like, are you understanding what I'm explaining to you about these powder water ratio things? He's like, yeah, I'm kind of seeing it. I was like, don't rush to load trucks. Study that mix first. And if you got a question and I'm here, shit, if I'm on a job and you got a question, call me. I can visually see the entire batch in my head. I'm kind of like a chemist. I said, if you have a question and you think, and you tell me that, here's the batch, and you rattle it off to me, and if I can't add the fly ash, the cement, and the man sand together and come up with 640 pounds to 200 gallons of water, I'm going to be able to assess whether or not the recipe is too wet or the recipe is going to be too dry. That's the way my brain works. I said, this is what we ran into the other day. I went with it because I didn't know what they were actually pouring. When I got there and realized that they had steps, that's when I called dispatch and said, we're only about 15 minutes out. I can turn around and go back and I can go get a dry up. And I have no problem. And the dude, I already talked to him. He said, yeah, if you can, or whoever's next, go get a dry up, we'll fix this. I said, yeah, it's no problem. I have no problem. Turn around. I didn't realize you had steps. If they had told me you had steps, I would have got a dry up before I left. He said, really? I said, oh yeah, absolutely. Because I know you cannot do steps on this slump. But this is your flatwork slump. This is exactly what you pour it on every single time. He said, really? I said, yeah, that's why I didn't touch it. I was like, I'm not going to get a dry up on something you're going to fucking wet up anyway. He's like, hey, I feel you. I agree. I was like, yeah. So I came with it not realizing. He said, but if I had ordered a 3 for those steps, you would have known, yeah, you needed to get a dry up. I was like, oh, fucking absolutely. I would have turned around and said, yep, dry me up. He's like, fair enough. Fair enough. So when I called dispatch and told him, he called up dispatch and he said, I thought I ordered a 3 for this. He's like, I don't know because I didn't take your order. He goes, I know I ordered a 3 for this. Your driver's right. She's good. She's running back. She's getting a dry up. The other girl's getting a dry up. If we got to wet up either one, they got this figured out. They're communicating. We're all good. No harm, no foul. We're going to fix this. But he said, when I order a 3 for my first truck, and then I order a 6 for my second truck, I do not expect my first truck to show up on a 4. Yeah. He goes, because what I pour on, he goes, yeah. Old girl, she been doing this work with me forever. She knows I pour out on a 6.5, 7. She wasn't going to touch it till she saw what we were doing. Now, if you had a 3-inch slump on there, she would have known, yeah, we need to turn this shit around. These problems within concrete world, communication is key. Our dispatch is not communicating. And not our main. Our main dispatch is, he's awesome. But if he releases the reins just a teeny bit to one of his constituents that's in the office with him, and they fail to do their job right, that is where we run into problems. Now, had he taken that order, it would have been logged as a 3. I would have turned around, gone back in and said, I got a ticket that says a 3. I'm rolling a 5.5, 6. I need you to dry me up. They probably got steps or something. I know this contractor, he never orders a fucking 3. Ever. He's got something, he needs a 3. That's what 10-year experience is. So when I showed up and I was like, I'm only a few minutes away. Thank God you guys were not in Portland today. And he said, yeah. I was like, yeah. Because I would have called up and I was like, why didn't anybody, like, you know, he asked for a 3. It says a 4. I'm not gonna roll out on a 4 going to Portland. A 4 is too wet for this. That's what I called dispatch about. That's why we got all turned around and her and I went and dried up and then we went to the job. Right back to back. He's like, are you good? I said, I'm great. We're fine. We're going to get this done. We ain't going to have no problems. I ain't going to run out of water. Everybody's going to be able to wash their feet. We're fine. He's like, girl, you've been doing this too long. I said, no. This is my forte. I'm happy with it. You know, I'm honest about it. I showed up and I was like, I'm not even going to discharge. I know my mix that I have right now is too wet for what you need to do. Nope. We're going to go back and dry it up. Or we're going to get girl to dry it up. We're going to figure out what we're going to do. But we are not starting this job and I'm not discharging shit because there is no fucking point. It is a waste of fucking time and it's going to dirty your equipment. Just wait. Let's see what we get. Let's figure this out. Anyway, while I was at my mama's, I got a few minutes. My brother-in-law's brother does concrete. Yeah. He's a concrete. I don't know if he has his own plant or if he just does footings or whatever. But he stops production like mid-November out in Colorado. And he doesn't start back up until March. Him and I can talk shop all day long. And it was great. And I showed him the one video that I have of like getting frustrated with the DIYers. He was like, look at you getting out there fucking right. And I was like, yeah. He goes, that's a fucking excellent tutorial. I was like, yeah, using my vape as an example and how to tilt it. He goes, yeah, that's perfect. He goes, that was fucking perfect. He just looked at me. He was like, all right. I was like, yeah, I can pour in, I can finish. But, you know, yeah, finishing, you know, I don't know. I've never been real eager to get out there. I don't like the heat of the summer. Yeah, it's fucking killing me. I don't even take care of my own yard. So anyway, happy hump day, y'all. I had a great day. Y'all, peace out.